Coverage you can count on. This is KCBD News Channel 11 at 6.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Lubbock Power and Light began the process of switching its customers to new electric providers this week. It's a process that is expected to continue through the month.
KCBD News Channel 11's Natalie Falkenberry joined us in the studio now with what LP&L wants you to be aware of as the transition begins. Natalie?
Karen and Abner, around 9,000 customers have already been moved to their new electric providers so far. But there are some customers who report receiving a flyer that states they've been defaulted to a provider chosen by Lubbock Power and Light, even though they chose one for themselves. Matt Rose with LP&L explained how this problem is being resolved behind the scenes.
That if you've made a choice and you received a postcard, you should not be defaulted to that postcard company, that you should be with the company that you chose.
Matt Rose, a spokesperson with Lubbock Power and Light, says only about 1% of customers are experiencing this problem. LP&L says the most common reason customers are receiving default provider flyers is because new providers overlooked multiple meters on properties.
We've seen customers in that instance where they've chosen a provider and then their second meter was not picked up by that new provider and then got defaulted in that first swap of defaults.
Rose says another reason you may have received that flyer is if you or your broker selected a provider after the shopping window on February 15th. LP&L says only 65% of customers had chosen by that deadline.
We generate the lists and we generate the postcards to mail out based off of the number of customers that chose at the end of the market. For those that chose after, we knew that they would receive a postcard even though they've made their choice.
But the most important thing LP&L wants to remind you is that those postcards are not binding, and they're working to get every customer transitioned to the provider that they want, even if they did not initially choose.
If they got defaulted a certain customer, and that customer, even after the shopping window ended, said, you know what, I do want to make a choice, and I do want to choose this company. We've not run into any instance where those default providers have fought us on that.
Rose says if you received one of those flyers but already chose a provider, no action on your part is required. LP&L is working with those electric companies to correct that issue. Karen and Abner.
As Natalie said, 9,000 Lubbock Power and Light customers were switched over to new providers. That happened on Monday. That was just the first of 21 transition cycles as LP&L works to switch over its remaining 99,000 customers. All customers are expected to be fully switched to new providers by April 1st. Lubbock Power and Light is assuring customers that it will keep homes powered until the new provider takes over.